Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again on this Christmas Eve. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week. Um, for me, it's just 2 days off. I get my son tomorrow for the weekend, so it's going to be a good Christmas for me as far as that goes. Um, Now, we talked about this team, right? And we know we play the Eagles on Sunday. I'll be doing my matchup video tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning or whatever, talking about that. But right now, I was just sitting here thinking about like this coaching staff and how we got to this point this year where we were not playing as well, and Kellen Moore's situation and Mike McCarthy's situation, and listening to all you fans chime in about what you guys may think and things of that nature, and some of the questions that you guys may have asked me throughout this year, right? So, as I'll say, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator for this team, right? He's had some good games calling plays. He had some bad games. We can all agree on that. We know that he's a young offensive coordinator. He's very new at this. He literally joined the coaching staff under Garrett's regime after Dak got drafted, when Tony Romo went down and Dak Prescott became the starter, and that was when Jamil Shower was a quarterback before they moved him to safety, and he ultimately is not on the team anymore. I don't know where he is at now, but that's interesting how they just slid him off. Then there's Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore gets backed up, gets his ankle rolled up by offensive lineman, and he never comes back to be the quarterback again. He joins the coaching staff. This is his second year as an offensive coordinator. Actually, first year of actually doing it full time, pretty much on his own. And like we said, he's had his ups and downs with it. Now, there's been news reported that his name is circulating to potentially be the next head coach of his alma mater, Boise State. And a lot of people have been chiming in on what they think about that. Sorry, my voice is still messed up. What they've been chiming in on, what they think is good. Whether he should stay with the Cowboys and try to be offensive coordinator again, or whether he should go ahead and take that job with Boise if they offer it to him. Like I said, it hasn't been offered yet because, again, it's not the off season. He's still under contract for the Dallas Cowboys till the end of the season, which is after next week. That is contingent upon if the Cowboys actually go to the playoffs or not, which is very slim. So let's just say after next week, he should be good to go. Now, I look at things from different angles. I don't look at things just one way. I always try to find it from what benefits from the left side and what benefits from the right side. All right, so let's get into it right quick. We know that the Cowboys ultimately hired Mike McCarthy to be the offensive guru as he is, the quarterback developer as he is, the former Super Bowl champion, NFC champion that he is and that he was. And I'll quote a smart man when they say this. You don't bring in a head chef to cook a fine meal for you to ultimately just say, fuck it, I'm going to eat some oodles and noodles, or I'm going to go get me some McDonald's or something. That's not why you hired Mike McCarthy. You hired Mike McCarthy to call the plays. You hired him to control this complete offense. But for whatever reason, he's not doing it. Now, the only thing I could think of is this. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they probably came to... Because Mike McCarthy said before he got hired, he said, hey, I'll come in there and, I'm an offensive-minded guy. I call plays. I do this and that. No more than a week after he was hired, he changed his tune and said, oh, well, we're going to give Kellen Moore the opportunities to call the plays. I'm not going to get involved in the blase. So common sense will tell you, when a coach changes his mind like that, that wasn't his doing. Understand what I'm saying? When a coach comes in and says one thing and all of a sudden it's the exact opposite, that ain't what his plan was. Somebody said to him, okay, look, I understand we hired you as a coach. We know that you're offensive minded. We'll give you those reins next year. But right now, since it's a COVID year, let's just see what Kellen Moore can do calling the plays. Let's see how Kellen Moore can do being offensive coordinator this year. And hey, if it doesn't work out, we won't re-sign him, let his contract expire. He could go somewhere else. And then now you are in control of your offense, and then you can hire your own different offensive coordinator next year, whatever you want to do, or you could be the play caller. So Mike McCarthy said, okay, well, I have no choice but to agree with that. So, okay, I'll go with that. So when they talked to him after his press conference, his tune changed. And I think that is all because of what the Joneses said to him. Like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let Kellen Moore do it. And that's the reason to me why he hasn't, and COVID as well, why he hasn't implemented his system and why he's not the play caller. Makes a lot of sense when you put it that way, doesn't it? So that's what I believe, and I'm almost 100% sure that's what happened. Because Mike McCarthy ain't no yes man, you know what I mean? But when you're hired as a coach and you're new, you ain't got no choice but to go with that when you're brand new on the staff. So, and you just got hired, so you don't want to ruffle any feathers coming in. You don't even know the facility yet at that time. So that's how I feel about that. I think that's what happened. So if this is the thing for Kellen Moore, right? I really like Kellen Moore. I think that he has called some good plays. He's had some growing pains. Every offensive coordinator starts off somewhere. Nobody is great off the rip. So you're going to have to get to a situation where you have to get good. You know what I mean? So to get good, you have to learn. You have to go through those growing pains. You have to see what defenses are throwing at you, things of that nature. So with that being said, if Kellen Moore does decide to go to Boise, if he does get offered a job after the season to be the head coach for him, I think he would flourish there. Because we know that in the Mountain West, they don't play really good defense. He's very pass heavy. So it would be beneficial to him to maybe do that. Now, the back end of that is, okay, so you were already in the NFL with a coaching position, and then you drop down to college. Now, if he does really well with Boise, he might have an opportunity to come back to the NFL. You never know. You never know. But that's really ultimately his choice of what he really wants to do. If Kellen Moore really likes the organization here with the Dallas Cowboys and he wants to stay there, then, that's something he'll talk with the Joneses about. But if he doesn't have any other options, then he might have to do that. Now, the caveat to that is this. If Kellen Moore does go away, right, we know that this offense has flourished under, Jason Garrett's playbook and, Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator. It's basically him doing that. So if you go and change everything next year, will that help this offense or would it make it worse? So we don't know what it's going to. We don't want what happened to the defense to happen to the offense. That's what we don't want. So that's the only thing that I worry about with Kellen Moore and not being here. But I think that with Mike McCarthy implementing his system if we have a full offseason next year, I think we'll be fine on offense. I'm not really worried about that too much either way. So I think that that's what happened. And I think that going forward, once Mike McCarthy comes in here and he has actual full control of his team, his offense, I think it's going to be great. Because we know Mike McCarthy is not a defensive guy. He's not a special teams guy. We know that what he does is offense. That's what he does. And you take that away from him, you kind of strip him of what he's good at. So you don't want to do that. And the Joneses got to stop messing things up. Stop messing things up. Don't come in here messing things up. If you're going to hire a coach, let him be him and let him do him. That's it and that's all. But whatever Kellen Moore decides he wants to do, I wish him well. If he decides to stay here, cool. Let him develop, get even better. But I think that Mike McCarthy still needs to handle the play calling next year, and maybe they'll figure something out with Kellen Moore if he does stick around. But, I mean, he does have this on his resume now, so if he does go to Boise, he can, do great things there and whatever. And because he's like a god there, they probably got a statue of him there, But it is what it is. We'll figure it out. But that's what I had on my mind. That's what I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about it. Oh, and as far as Zeke Elliott, real quick, I just want to say, everybody's talking about, like, you know, him fumbling the ball, things of that nature, blah, 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 blah. You got to understand that, like, you got to give the defense credit. They've been punching these balls out. Now, a lot of those fumbles that he had, I don't think that it was poor ball placement of him holding it. Because, you know, sometimes he does hold the ball like a loaf of bread, but I do notice when he sees a defender coming, he does protect himself going down. But if the defender punches the ball out, that's just a good play. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't think that Ezekiel Elliott took a step back. I just think this offensive line, because they're not good and they're not blocking well, I just think that affected him. Dak Prescott not being here affects him. And the fact that Kellen Moore is a pass-heavy guy and not utilizing the run like he should is not helping Zeke. So I think those are the factors. But outside of that, I think Zeke is good. But with that being said, y'all, that's all I got for right now. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a great holiday.